Hey buddy, just a bit of an off-the-cuff video, but I had to comment on this because I'm waiting to see what Liz Truss actually does in the first week before I start to comment on her actions, although it's not looking good at the minute, I can assure you, but that aside. So when exactly did it become fashionable for both left and right, and I say right when referring to the government in inverted commas, we'll get onto that in a minute, but when did it become fashionable to celebrate that the top jobs in government are not held by white people? This is a majority white country, and that should be reflected in the leadership of this country. You wouldn't go to places like India, Pakistan, China, and you wouldn't see them celebrating the fact that the top jobs in those countries were being held by non-Chinese or non-Pakistani, non-Indian people, because they wouldn't allow it to happen, for starters. So why are we celebrating this in this country? Not to mention the fact that it's racist and bigoted, that you're celebrating the fact that people of a certain skin colour aren't in government. Highly racist, highly bigoted. And when did it become acceptable for this to become mainstream and just be spoken out like it's a normal thing to say? I'm gobsmacked, I really am. And when we talk about, because there's this young lady on Twitter called Sophie Cochran, I think that's her name. I'll put a picture on the screen so you can see who she is. Her and Tom Harwood are young. They're very young, and you can tell with the way that they talk about things. They have no life experience. They're not streetwise, and they just come across as very, very naive when talking about government. I mean, Sophie Cochran says, "Hallelujah, we have a right-wing government." No, you don't. There hasn't been a right-wing conservative government for over 12 years, for a decade and a bit. All the other prime ministers that we've had up to now have been social democrat leaders. There hasn't been a right-wing parliament in a long time, and this one isn't a right-wing parliament. You've got Liz Truss, an ex-Liberal Democrat, and believe me, leopards do not change their spots. We're going to see that in a premiership. And she's been appointing WEF stooges to a cabinet. So basically, it's just more of the same shit that we're going to be getting that we had from Boris Johnson. We're going to get excuse after excuse of why things aren't being carried out. In the meantime, things are just going to stay the same. I'm not going to go too much into what she's doing, but the fact that she hasn't mentioned at all the invasion that's taking place down south or anything like that, and the fact that one of her main priorities, the first hours of being Prime Minister yesterday, was to reassure Ukraine that the money would still keep coming for their war with Russia. Not exactly what I was looking for. I wanted her to prioritise us in this country, prioritise the energy crisis, prioritise the immigration crisis that's going on. Not just confirm that, oh yeah, we're going to keep sending billions to the Ukraine. And her solution, I'm going to go into this now, sod it, I'm going to go into this now. Her solution to the energy crisis is not to scrap green taxes, because why in hell would we do that? The sensible thing to do. No, we're just going to borrow billions. We're going to borrow billions. We're already in debt up to trillions, but this is her solution. We're going to borrow billions to pay off the gas and oil companies to freeze our energy bills for 2 years. And she's freezing those energy bills at 2,500, and that's just for homeowners. There's no mention of her freezing. There's no mention of her freezing business energy bills as of yet. But 2,500, lots of people cannot afford that. They just can't afford it, because not only have we got an energy crisis, we've got inflation rising to record levels as well. So as the cost of food rises, people are still going to be choosing between heating their homes and eating, aren't they? So a completely pointless action there. And not to mention the fact that obviously the bill is being given to us, the taxpayer, and not the oil companies or anything like that. Not the people that are making record profits at the minute off the backs of us saps paying for this shit. No, she's going to give us the bill. So on top of higher taxes next year, on top of everything else, we're going to have this as well, which is basically a loan she's taken out in our name, a loan that we had no say in, and that we're going to pay back over, I think it's 10 to 20 years. We weren't asked if we wanted that, were we? There was no referendum. There was no asking of what they're going to do. When the simple issue, the thing that would have solved all this without borrowing billions or anything like that, would have been to scrap the green taxes off our bills and scrap net zero CO2 policies. That would have been the answer. But no. What happened? No, we're just going to borrow billions and we're just going to get the taxpayers to foot the bill again. She's not going to be in office for very long. There's not a chance in hell she's going to be in office that long. I think, we're going to see a similar thing with Boris Johnson, that she'll have to resign eventually because it's going to be proved that she's fucking useless. Because all these prime ministers that we've had up to now are just cookie cutter prime ministers. Different face, same policies, same bullshit, same shit time and time again. And it's not just the Conservative Party, it's the Labour Party as well. They've lost 100,000 members. 100,000 members. Because people who used to believe they were a working class party now see them for what they are. They're nothing more than woke, bullshit, batshit insane, fucking crazy people. The Labour Party and the so-called Tory Party is going the same way. The Social Democrat Party, as we should now call them, are going the same way. Because it all seems to be focusing on race, gender. And the ironic thing is, right, you can never appease these people. You can never appease the woke. Because this guy here, this Paul Brand guy, I'll put the tweet on thing now, I'm reading it off Twitter now. He's the UK editor of ITV News and presenter of ITV Tonight. Political Journalist of the Year 2020. Yeah, fuck off. Breaking Story of the Year 2022. Yeah, whatever. He's on instant TikTok, which says it all about the guy. So he said this diverse new cabinet, but not in the terms of LGBT representation. 4 of the most senior cabinet members voted against extending same-sex marriage to Northern Ireland in 2019. You can't appease these people. No matter what you do to appease them, they will never ever be happy. And I think people know that this is why Liz Truss chose different nationalities of people, different races of people to be in the top jobs of this country. It was to send a message, and it was to try and bash Labour over there. Look, we're woke. We're a diverse cabinet, and while we're on diversity, right? Tell that to the people of Leicestershire who are currently having some kind of war in their town. I'll leave it on the screen, or I'll get the video and you can watch the video of the riots there of 2, I think it's Muslims and Hindus having battles in the streets with machetes in Leicestershire. You remember the old mantra that we got from both the Tories and Labour? Diversity is our strength. Well, you tell that to the people of Leicestershire and the city of Leicester. I'm sure they'll be quite happy to hear that. Because let's not forget, right, that the people who cause these problems, and that doesn't matter what party they are, whether it be Labour, Liberal Democrat, Conservative, Green, whatever they are, they will never have to live with the consequences of what they implement, of their actions. Because they live in nice, upper class, gated communities where they're never going to see the things that affect you and me on the street, are they? This is Vindicator, signing off.